Hey guys, it's Clay. We're back here again on the 2011 Collective. And boys, I've had this gun for a couple months now, and I do apologize for not being able to bring this review sooner. If life got in the way and all that good stuff, and I banged up my finger. But anyways, we've already done our first impressions of this gun, so we're going to step through the categories and give this gun an overall assessment and a grade. And then we'll wrap it up here at the end. So jumping into our first category, which is design. Now, I gave this one 4 out of 5. In my opinion, I really like the way this gun looks. It's different, right? It's not like every other kind of offering. It's very kind of a unique, modern, sleek-looking design of a gun. It's got those kind of cross-hatched front slide serrations right here that I really, really, really like. Now, I wish they were a little bit deeper, but outside of that, I really dig that. I know some people don't care for the little scallop cut here, but like I said, it doesn't bother me as long as I got my full dust cover at the front. Really, really, really like the way this gun looks. But as always, your mileage may vary of what you find aesthetically pleasing in these firearms. Now, I docked this one a point because there's a couple little nuances that I don't really care for about this gun. The first one is it's got a loaded chamber indicator on it right here. I've got these on my Springfield Prodigies. I do not like them. It clouds up your optic while shooting. I'm sure it's some sort of regulatory thing that they've got to do as a brand manufacturer for whatever reason, but not a huge fan of it. I also know that there are people who don't like that front trigger guard screw. On the first model, it was kind of like silver and it kind of stuck out against the black contrast. And then they blacked out all the hardware on this, the second revision right here, and it kind of fades in the background. Now, I will tell you, for all you technical nerds like myself, that when you get ready to take this gun apart, it is so much easier to get this trigger guard off or this grip module off with that bigger, that screw. Now, I know, like I said, that's not gonna be for everybody. So if you don't like tinkering with your guns, but if you do, it is a lot easier than getting those little Allen head wrenches and being able to strip out these front screws, because I have done that on a previous gun and it sucks. So I really, really, don't know why that is, but from a functionality perspective, the front trigger screw is not terribly bad to deal with functional wise. Now, my other big kind of design knock on this one is, as you can see, I'm a Surefire X300 guy. I've tried every key and I cannot get it to flush up against the trigger guard. It's got that spacing right there. My OCD kicks in, man, and I don't care for that look. Now, I've seen the Streamlights, they're flush fit up in here, so I might look at maybe getting a Streamlight for this guy just to kind of be matchy-matchy, but maybe that's something that Jacob Gray can look into in the future to be able to look at that pick rail spacing and bring that Surefire X300 back against the trigger guard to get that flushed up. Outside of that, guys, the design on this gun is really well done. Really, really like it. Now, moving on to the standout and additional features, this is kind of like my category of like what sets you apart from other manufacturers, and I gave this one 5 out of 5. Once again, boys, when I see this gun anytime on a forum or YouTube or wherever, I know immediately that this is a Jacob Gray. It has got this signature look, and I think the reason why is because of this grip module, man. Like, I see this grip module, I know immediately it is a Jacob Gray. And I like that, man. Like I said, if you don't like that, that's cool, but I like that that's unique. It's different, right, than everybody else. The other big standout feature on this gun, I said it on my initial walkthrough, the action on this gun is super buttery smooth at this price point. We're not talking Atlas level here, but for this price point, you can tell there's some work done on these rails, man. It's really super buttery smooth. There is zero hiccup on the disco, nothing. I mean, it is just, it's really, really nicely done. Just something that'll jump out to you and compare it if you own other 2011s. You can really feel that kind of quality in your hand on the action. This gun, as I said, it's got, I'm kind of deeming it, I'm calling it hand feel. Like when I get a 2011 in my hand and I just feel, I can feel the quality within like just a couple minutes to just grab. And I own enough of these now where I can just feel the action on these guns to kind of just tell what type of work's been done internally when they were fitting these firearms. But really, really, really impressed with that one, guys, as well. It comes with all the optics plates right out of the box, man. It's got a little optics card, tells you how to mount up all your hardware and match those up to the model of your red dot that you're using. I really appreciate that. And the other big one that I really like, as kind of a consumer, if you will, is that these guys are manufacturing firearms. They're not building them, right? There are people who build firearms, and then there's people who manufacture them. These guys are actually manufacturing their own stuff. So as I said before in my previous videos, when you control your manufacturing process, you can turn revisions, right? That's this feedback that we're giving these guys. That's why they were able to take that TWC 9 version 1, roll it into the black edition and subsequent models down the road. They're refining their product line, guys, and they can do that because they own their own manufacturing process and keep all their tolerances really super tight in-house, man. Really digging that. Not everybody can say that. So kudos to Jacob Gray for doing their own thing. Moving on to the next category is quality of parts used. Okay, so I gave this one 7 out of 10. So there are 3 MIM parts in this gun. It's got the hammer, the sear, and the disconnector. So they've got 3 MIM parts. I reached out to Jacob Gray about their MIMing process just to get some clarity on what they've got going. They are extremely confident in their MIMing process. They do manufacturing for aerospace parts, so they're very confident in all of their CNC machines, and they invested a significant amount of money, I was told, in their molds to be able to do these 3 parts. And once again, you know, like I said, I'm not going to get into the debate on what's better or what's worse. There are people who own Glocks that have MIM parts and they trust their lives with them every day. But I also understand the other side of the debate, which is if you're spending $3,000 on a gun, you expect what would be deemed as superior parts in this gun. Now, you guys got to remember, they're trying to hit a price point here, right? So, you know, keep that in mind when you're talking about quality of parts used in these firearms. So, like I said, from a business perspective, I understand all that, but, you know, but everything else, guys, on this gun outside of those MIMs, and I've had no issues with the MIMing on this gun, by the way. I've got north of 3,000 rounds. They're not high stress parts on this gun. It's not like a slide stop, right? I've actually broken a slide stop on a tooled steel guide stop on my P, my other P. Like I said, your mileage may vary of what you view MIMing as, but from my perspective, this gun, as far as quality of parts go, are good to go. I'm just reporting the news on this one, guys. But outside of that, the slide, the trigger, the frame, the grip, they're all done house and they're done very, very well, guys. This gun is really well built as far as quality of parts used. Now, moving on to the next category, we'll get into the fitment piece. So once again, I do my checks on my initial impressions. This gun was really super tight right out of the box. Like I said, I've got north of 3,000 rounds on this thing. I gave this one 4 out of 5. The tolerances have loosened up just a little bit as you shoot your guns in. That coating starts to wear off a little bit. But all in all, man, it's still really well fit. The tolerances are really tight. Once again, they're not... Slide to frame is not the biggest deal in the world. The biggest one for fitment is barrel lockup. And this gun, 5 out of 5 on barrel lockup. There's no movement on the barrel. This is what barrel lockup is, what gives you your accuracy. You can do your checks on that one. Grip to frame, I gave this one 4 out of 5. If you come back here on my version, there is a little bit of gap right here in the back. Once again, just a smidgen. It shows you just how flush fit that is up to the frame right there. All in all, I've seen a lot worse, but it's just something to note as far as grip to frame fitment and small parts fitment. All the thumb safeties, the trigger, everything, the mag release, everything is fit really well. The slide stop on here, we'll show in part 2, it's really well done. As you would expect on a $3,000 build, everything is buttoned up really nice. Now, moving on to probably one of my favorite categories is blending and polishing. The polishing on these rails, boys, I was telling you, the standout features, the action on this gun is super smooth. They have had to have done some really nice polish work on these rails when they're fitting this gun. Now, I will say I docked this one 2 points because, okay, so on the back right here, hopefully you can see it right here on the extractor, it stands a little bit proud of the slide right here, but from the slide to the frame is really buttery smooth. There's no high points. They've got a little spot up here on the grip safety where it meets up to the bottom part of the frame. It's got a little bit of a raised edge. It's not too bad. And then the thumb safety right here just overhangs just slightly right there. So it probably needs a little bit more blending, but we'll get into the controls, you know, part of the review here in a second. But outside of that, this gun for blending is pretty well done. The polishing, I feel, is really well done on this gun. Not custom works level polishing, but definitely a great polishing job done on this firearm. Now, moving on to coating, I gave this one 4 out of 5. Of course, I docked at one point. I'm a DLC type of guy. This one is not DLC'd. It's hard anodized coating. It's really nice. It's kind of like a smooth side finish, and it's got a matte. I mean, I really like it. This is the only gun that I own that's got like a hard anodized finish on it, but so far so good. I've just got some, some wear on the bottom of the mag well, as you would expect on, putting reloads and whatnot into your gun. Next category, the controls. Okay, here is my big kind of feedback, if you will, about this gun. So these thumb safeties of how I grip my gun. So when I grip my gun up here, my palm right here, that edge right there, sorry, get my finger out of the way. That edge right there is really sharp. It digs into my palm. And then up here, as I was saying, on the blending part of those thumb safeties, they hurt. This gun hurts my hand to shoot about 5 mags in, and when you're shooting a long range session, it becomes a little uncomfortable for me. Now, I've seen other people's reviews on this gun. They don't have any issues with the thumb safeties. Maybe it's just a big hand grip issue for me, but for something that I've noticed some other people in their comments on Reddit kind of call that out as well. So my feedback to Jacob Gray is I would like to get this redesigned if possible. I think that I know what you guys were going through or looking at when you're doing from a low profile thumb safety perspective for carry. So I understand that piece, but these really got some sharp edges and they need to be addressed for at least for me. Now, if it doesn't bother you, to each their own, but for me and how I like to shoot, it's not comfortable. So I am going to change these out for some Atlas high ride thumb safety so I can continue to comfortably shoot this gun and set the gun up personally for me and how I like to shoot. Now, moving on to the trigger, right? So the trigger I showed you was 3.5 pounds as advertised out of the box. I love the shoe. It's got this really cool kind of texturing on the front of it. I really like that. Now, I docked at a point because the trigger reset on this one is a little bit longer than I kind of like. So it's right there on the wall, and then you see how long that is right there. On these one pieces though, there's no over travel screw, so you can adjust that. So maybe Jacob Gray and their team can look at the bow itself to kind of respec that, to see if they can tighten up that the kind of the longer reset on this gun. But pre-travel, I mean, it's nice. It's got a nice clean trigger break. Like I said, I love the shoe, love the one-piece design. Just something maybe they can check out to see if something they can adjust going forward. Now, moving on to my favorite part of this gun is the grip module on this thing. Some dude on Reddit the other day was saying that this is a crappy grip. Dude, you are absolutely wrong about that. This gun right here, this grip module, my favorite grip module is an Atlas grip module, right? And then my next one is probably a Chile grips. But this one, boys, the ergos on this thing, it is really nicely done. And all the intricate details, like the cutouts right here and that double undercut, and it gets up in here. And then look at the flat part of this trigger. This gun fits my hand really, really nice. And it kind of, like I said, it kind of reminds me of that Icarus Precision, which got that integrated flared mag wall at the bottom. I love this grip module, guys. This is what, to me, is what set this gun apart from a lot of the other 2011s as far as aesthetically and just hand feel, in my opinion. So 5 out of 5 on the grip, ergos, and texture. The texture on this thing is good. It's concealed carry. It's got enough grip. It's not Chile aggressive, but it's good enough for, I've had it for a little while now, and, in kind of hotter weather, I guess, before it kind of turned cold. Didn't have any issues with the gun slipping around in my hand. So, like I said, I like the grip texture on this gun. No issues for me. So, like I said, if you're one of the previous version ones that had the slick side and didn't like it, they've addressed that here and made the changes to make the end user happy. So, now, moving on to tuning, I gave this one 5 out of 5. The gun is perfectly tuned, in my opinion. You can see on the shooting footage, this is an undersprung or oversprung, which is just right. I think it's got about a 12-pound recoil and maybe a 19-pound main. I'm not sure what all the specs on it, but the trigger weight at 3.5, it was tuned. The sear spring was tuned as advertised, as I said earlier. Now, moving on into value, I gave this one 4 out of 5. Okay. You get a lot of value out of the box, right? It's still an expensive ass gun at 3K, dude. So I'm not batting an eye at that. But let's do some comparisons here. I shot my P against this thing. It's my Heritage P, so it's a little bit heavier. So it did have like a little less hit in the hand as far as recoil goes. But when you start comparing, so that's Spaceline Staccato to this Jacob Gray, right? That's Staccato P aluminum frame, not my Heritage, but the aluminum frame one with optic plate is $2,730 out the door. This is $3,000, right? So what are I'm deeming these kind of like, there's no gun that is really perfect, so to speak, unless you start getting up into the really higher price points. But these lower kind of entry level budget kind of builds right here between that $2,000 and $3,000 price point, this gun has a lot of features right out of the box. The biggest feature for me for value is this grip module. You can go and try anywhere. Go get you a Chile, go get you a Phoenix Trinity. They're $500 or $600 by the time you get taxes and shipping out the door. It comes standard on this gun. So what is the big thing that a Staccato has over this gun? Well, DLC finish, right? It's got a DLC finish, and it's got all tool steeled internals. Outside of that, there's really not anything difference between the Staccato and this Jacob Gray. Now, I will tell you from, from build quality perspective, but this one has 3 min parts, a hard anodized coating, which isn't terrible. It's not a terrible coating. And it's got a metal grip module. I'm a metal grip module type of guy. I do not like polymer. So on that Staccato, you got a polymer grip, you got a polymer shoe, trigger shoe on it. So you're getting some trade-offs there, right? That's how they're making their money on that plastic grip module, where Jacob Gray is giving you a $500-600 upgrade right out of the box, but you got 3 min parts. So like I said, depending on your view of value and what you deem, important to you and your view of making a purchase on one of these, I think that this gun is worth the money. Now, sure, as a consumer, I'd like to see this sitting, maybe $2,800, maybe a little bit more than what they were offering from version 1. But guys, they're running a business on here. They got to be able to make their money, and I do understand that. But pound for pound, boy, this gun is extremely nice, and all the value and everything that you get right out of the box, man. Really digging that. Just my opinion. So if you got a Staccato, I got most of the Staccatos too. I love Staccatos, but when I'm just doing an apples to apples comparison, boys, this gun can hang with a Staccato easy days, man. Like, it's not a problem. Shooting performance, and like I said, you got your little bit of trade-offs on the build quality and their manufacturing process. Outside of that, they're pretty in the same ballpark, in my opinion. Now, the shooting experience on this gun, accuracy, it's a bull barrel. I was out here at 39 yards. Sun was burying my eyes, so I missed a couple shots. But, I can hit anything that I aim at. These guns are super accurate. 5 out of 5. Reliability, I've got north of 3,000, probably about 3,400 rounds on this gun-ish, somewhere in there. I haven't had a single hiccup with the gun. Like I said, the guns ran, really well for me from a reliability perspective, so it's been good to go. Felt recoil and muzzle flip, so that's, how hard does the gun feel like it hits back in your hand, and then you got your dot lift. Now, when it comes to those, this is a non-ported gun, right? So, but I gave it that's why I wanted to shoot my non-ported P against it to kind of see what that felt like. This is a 30-ounce gun, so it has got a little bit of kick in it. It's going to kick in your hand a little bit. It makes you really focus in on your fundamentals when you're shooting this guy right here, to be able to lock everything in to make sure you got that recoil management. It's really pleasant. It's a really great shooting gun, guys, man. It's a really fun gun to shoot. No issues there. Now, on the, like I said, when you got, I said it's got a little bit of hit. It's got a little bit more hit than my my Heritage P in the hand, but muzzle flip, like I said, you lock everything in and you do everything right, man. Like, you can keep the gun fairly flat when you're shooting it, and I gave that one 4 out of 5, right? So that's it for all of my categories, guys. The overall grading on this gun, I gave it an 84 out of 100. In conclusion, man, like, you're getting a very unique looking 2011 that's got that kind of signature feel that I was talking about. That is really well made, guys. This gun has got, once again, has got great hand feel. I am super proud and to own this gun and put this one into my collection. This gun can flex into multiple roles. I said they built this for carry. Now, I won't carry this gun. This is going to be more of just a range toy for me and that part of my 2011 collection. But I could easily see somebody carrying this gun. It's very lightweight. It's 30 ounces. If you're into carrying big 4¼ inch 2011s, perfect fit for that. And it's got all the cool stuff right out of the box with that metal grip on it, dude. Really loving it. And then it can flex, like I said, it could be used in a home defense, range toy. I don't know about competitions. Like I said, there might be some kind of adjustments depending on, like I said, your grip and those thumb safeties. But outside of that, dude, I really, really love this gun, man. I love what Jacob Gray is doing as a company. They're listening to us, guys, man. I love that these companies are listening to our feedback, right? We've got to bring them positive feedback. I don't want to get on here and crap on a company just because they, that the gun doesn't work for me properly. But outside of, just the thumb safeties on, dude, this gun is an absolute joy to shoot and to own, guys. So like I said, if you're in the market for one of these, do not sleep on Jacob Gray. I know they just came out with their new Hex version the other day. That one looks really cool. I might have to check that one out in the future to see what that one looks like as far as like their new grip texture and what have you. But man, I love this gun, man. And I will give you an update. So I shot this one suppressed. And so my Dead Air Primal, I've got this on my 338 Lapua. And then for the threaded barrel on this guy, and it would not cycle. This suppressor is just too heavy. It's probably 17 ounces, and most of the 9mm dedicated suppressors are about 7 or 8. So I'm probably, sorry, my wife, she's gonna hate me for this one. Probably gonna have to buy a new can just to be able to shoot this one suppressed. And like I said, I'll go out and get one of those and then bring a future video back to you guys to show how this guy actually shoots. But for what I did shoot when I was manually racking it, dude, it was really cool, man. But that's it, boys. That's my review of the Jacob Gray Black Edition. Love this gun, man. What's next for me? So hopefully I can get on YouTube. I get hit on my Prius for my trigger install. So maybe I'll be able to show my thumb safety install on this one to show you guys how to fit the thumb safeties on the new Jacob Gray. But my next review, boys, I'm really excited about this one. So my Custom Works LLC Vulcan, Scott Kenny, the owner, reached out to me. He said, "Hey Clay, would you like to try my Defender model, the 4¼ inch?" He said, "I will send you my my personal 4¼ for you to review and kind of show off of what that looks like." And boys, woo, there he is. And I cannot wait to you guys. I know there's a few people that ordered those, the Vulcan. Boys, this gun, this gun right here is smooth, like I was telling you. The Defender model, man, the action on this thing is so butter, man. It is so butter. I'm really excited to bring this one to you in the future. So be on the lookout out for that one. And that's it for me. Check out the shooting footage and stay tuned. All right, guys, we got the Jacob Gray Black here. This is going to be at full speed. All right, guys, we got the Jacob Gray Black here. We're gonna do some accuracy testing. We're about 39 yards out. So let's go ahead and give her a try. I got the sun beating right in my eyes, so if I miss a few, don't be mad at me. Woo! 39 yards out, man. I just missed one shot. Not too bad for the sun beating in my eyes. Jacob Gray, baby. All right, guys, we got the Jacob Gray Black here. We're just gonna do a little fun gong target shooting here. All right, guys, we've got the Staccato P Heritage Edition, and then we've got the Jacob Gray Black Edition. We're going to kind of do a little side-by-side just shooting experience and give you some feedback. All right, that was the Jacob Gray. Swap these guys out. All right, well, guys, they shoot about the same to me. They're both non-ported guns. Really love this Staccato P, but I said, boys, do not sleep on this Jacob Gray. It's really nice, man. All right, guys, we got the Jacob Gray Black Edition here. We got them on the our 4 hostage targets, so we're going to go ahead and do some transition drills and just kind of do some double taps and have some fun, shoot some steel. See how the gun shoots, right? boys, that was the Jacob Gray shooting footage.